Welcome to Urban Review. This is the show brought to you by the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development in collaboration with the Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development. We are funded by the Office of National Drug Control Policy, and therefore the thoughts and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the thoughts and the opinions of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, SAMHSA, the CDC, or the White House. But we believe that they're in line with us because we're here to talk about your well-being, your health, and to talk about substance abuse, misuse, and to talk about mental health and well-being. And I'm just really excited today because first off, this afternoon, starting at 6 o'clock p.m., we're going to be hosting our monthly coalition meeting in person at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, but it's going to be a hybrid meeting. So if you want to call in, use that regular Zoom call-in meeting ID 790-495-5710, and the password is CUYFD. And today's meeting is going to be a special meeting because we have our consultant and our epidemiologist from Knoxville, Tennessee, here to work with us, and we're going to introduce her in just a moment. But I want to tell you also about another exciting event we have coming this Saturday. We're going to be presenting our 6th annual Men's Substance Abuse or Substance Misuse Prevention, Mental Health, and Wellness Summit. And as you see, I keep stumbling over that word because we're trying to change the nomenclature and the perspectives and the stigmas associated with substance misuse. And so therefore, we're going to stop calling it substance abuse and start calling it substance misuse. And we have a great activity planned for this Saturday. It kicks off at 8 o'clock a.m. We're going to be serving free breakfast, and then we're going to have Wayne County Sheriff Raphael Washington as our keynote speaker. We're also going to be providing free haircuts, free acupuncture, free massages. We're going to have a workshop on mental health first aid. We're also going to have a workshop on question, persuade, and refer, which is a suicide prevention methodology. We're going to have Dr. Reginald Vance, PhD, from the Veterans Administration there to do a presentation. And then we're also going to have a panel discussion on prostate cancer and its impact on men's health and how substance misuse like tobacco and alcohol have an impact on your prostate. In addition, we're going to have Henry Ford Health System there that will be doing prostate PSA screenings for free. They'll also be doing blood pressure screenings for free. They'll also be doing MyChart training so that you know how you call your doctor and they say, yeah, I can give you an appointment 2 months from now, but I'm sick today. Well, if you know how to use MyChart, you can put an email message into your doctor, and he or she will respond to you within 24 hours. So this is a wonderful resource that's out there in the world for us, but so many people don't know how to utilize the technology. They're going to be there, Henry Ford Health System, to provide us free training. And then we've also communicated with Health Alliance Plan, and they're going to be there to do dental screenings as well as blood pressure screenings. So please come by. Not only the men, but also the women, but we want to focus on men for this event. But ladies, please come by. Take advantage of the free MyChart training. Take advantage of the free health screenings. And we really are excited about this opportunity, and we look forward to your participation. Once again, that'll be at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, which is located 18700 James Cousins Highway. That's right off of the Lodge Freeway, just south of 7 Mile. And we'll be there from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. providing our 2024 Men's Substance Misuse Prevention, Mental Health, and Wellness Summit. All right. So that is an exciting event that we're looking forward to. And as I said, I'm really excited about this evening because we have with us today, and if I can have our production team share the camera, Miss Stephanie Stretner. And welcome aboard, Stephanie.
Thank you so much,
Glad
Mr.
to have you
Arbuckle.
here. And tell us a
pleasure.
little about yourself and about your wonderful firm, Catalyst Evaluation Team.
Well, thank you so much. And again, Stephanie from Knoxville, Tennessee. That Southern accent may be coming on pretty strong for some of you, but I'm thrilled to be in Detroit with you today. And we've collaborated together for well over a year now.
Absolutely.
And so I'm an epidemiologist. And pre-pandemic, I used to have to define what that meant to most people. Now, a lot of people know what epidemiology is. It's, of course, the study of the distribution and determinants of disease. My specialty is substance misuse and related health indicators, which, of course, there are many. And so the purpose of my work is really to give coalitions like yours the opportunity to make data-driven decisions.
Right.
A lot of times in prevention, people feel like we go out and give warm hugs and that we just work with kids in schools.
Right.
But really, we do so much more. And when coalitions use data to drive our work, we're able to be really effective in communities. And so that's exactly what your agency is doing. And my background is in public health. And so I've used that background to drive efforts in substance misuse to be able to track the data trends to help agencies like yourself to make decisions that are going to be best for the constituents that you serve.
That's wonderful.
One of the newest things that we're really focusing on are social drivers of health. And we know that social drivers of health are really indicative of one's individual maximum quality of health. And so that's where we're able to really pull in some specific data, which of course we've been working with your coalition on doing through a new community assessment to make sure that we're meeting people where they are, that we're not providing the same service to everybody in the community, but we're providing the service that people need.
Exactly.
We also want to focus on the environmental strategies, those population level strategies where we can engage in some high level approaches to affect policy and institutions and address some of those social drivers from a community standpoint.
That's fantastic. And that falls right in line with our goals and objectives and leading up to our vision of a drug-free community on Detroit's West Side. And it's been so wonderful to work with Stephanie and her team, as well as the folks at the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. And actually, that's how Stephanie and I met. She's a trainer with that group. And I saw her skill, and I knew that we wanted to bring that skill set back here to Detroit and utilize it in our communities. We service the 48238, 48204, and 48235 zip code areas, and Stephanie and her team have worked with us to give us an opportunity to draw down data from the CDC and other sources to look at various surveys that have been taken by our young people, our teenagers, as well as by our adults, and then pull all of that data together and help us analyze it and develop what we call a problem statement. And then we take that problem statement and put together what is called a logic model. And that logic model determines why is this happening and what is the cause of it and why is it happening here. Why here is a very important and critical aspect. And Stephanie, tell us just a little bit more about the methodology for putting together those logic models.
Sure. Well, first of all, as a trainer, it is just a joy to sit here and see one of your former students be able to explain that process so well. Ultimately, when we use data to drive our process, it puts us in a position to really be able to show that impact, but also to have an impact. We use taxpayer funding. We're a recipient of grant funds, and so we want to make sure that we're not only effective in the way that we use those dollars, but that we're very efficient as well. Being able to track the data and make decisions using those data gives us an opportunity to be positioned in that space where we can be very effective. Another thing that we want to be able to do with our data is show the impact that the work that you're having is contributing to in the community. And so through this process, the very first thing we do is really dig into the community, into some archival and existing data sources that are already here. And then we pull those data. And then, of course, as you know, we also a lot of times have to fill in the gaps.
Right.
So we go and seek additional data measures that help us to paint a really clear picture of what's happening in the community.
Right. And I just want to interject that to our listeners, that is why it is so important when we host town hall meetings, when we have focus groups, that you come, that you attend, that you give us your perspective, that you let us know what your opinion is, because we actually utilize that to formulate the strategic and action plan that we put in place to determine exactly what work we're going to do. And we want to make sure it's effective.
That's exactly right. And so you bring up a good point that we collect both quantitative data, those numbers-driven statistics, but we also collect quite a bit of qualitative data as well. And a lot of times the qualitative data, which if you're not a data guru, you might not know what that is. And really that's the anecdotal data that gives us a better depth of understanding of anything that's happening.
Right. It's your opinion. It's the
Exactly.
community's opinion.
And we use those qualitative data to help us move in the path where we can collect quantitative data in those areas. And so it's important to get the perceptions of persons who are living and experiencing the issues that the coalition is addressing.
Right, absolutely. Nothing about us without us. So we want to have input, and this is our opportunity. We're creating these opportunities, and the ultimate ending on this is that it drives resources. Though, as Stephanie said, these are tax dollars, and we have to be good stewards and prove that we're good stewards of those dollars, and because that is what keeps those resources flowing into our community, and then that is what gives us the capacity to go out and do the work and go beyond just the hugs and the warm and fuzzy, we feel bad for you because you have a problem. We want to come out and help you overcome your problem and not even look at it as a problem, but look at it as an issue and an opportunity. And we're going to take that issue, take advantage of the opportunity to do something about it and drive it. And that's why we work with the Stephanies and the Catalysts of the world to become more proficient at the work we're trying to do. You also work with other coalitions in other parts of the country. Tell us about that and what that's like in comparison to what you're learning about us here in Detroit.
Well, for one, it's been one of the biggest blessings in my career to be able to work with coalitions all across the country and even some international coalitions as well. Wow. And the cool thing is, you know, I'm a girl from East Tennessee. I have lived experience from East Tennessee, and so I don't come in as being an expert in your community or in any community that I serve. Rather, I come in as a facilitator, and my goal is to equip you and the stakeholders in your community, not just within your coalition, but across all sectors of the community and persons with lived experience. We want people to be part of the solution because this is a community-owned effort. If everybody in the community owns this effort to make the community a better place, then it's going to be sustainable. And that's what's really important. And so when I think about how Catalyst Evaluation Group is able to work with communities across the country, it's not because we come in as experts on those communities. It's because we are able to facilitate conversations to bring in the persons with lived experience in your community so that we just start a conversation. But it's really the people in the community who are able to come up with those solutions and those effective strategies using data to move us forward and to be able to experience so many different cultures and so many different parts of the world has just been a real blessing. And being able to help communities understand how easily they can truly affect change.
Right.
Of course, it takes work, but if we follow the process works.
And that's the key. That's the part I wanted to hear, is that regardless of where you are in not only the country but the world, if you follow the process works, and it works for everybody. Yes, you have to make some adjustments. Yes, there are some nuances, but the process works. And we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about this as soon as we hear from our sponsors.
You'll love your Avis Ford because at Avis Ford, we make it easy to get you your no money down monthly payment right over the phone. We call it Shop by Phone, and it's the best way we know to get you your payment options fast. You want leather and a sunroof? How about an upgrade to all-wheel drive? Just give us a call. Shop online, shop by phone, or visit us at Telegraph at 12 Mile. Call 1-800-SHOP-FORD.
Meet Danny, high school senior, 17 years of age, all A student. Danny is just now finding out he scored 1,490 out of 1,600 on his SAT. Danny's friend decided to ask, "How did you do it?" Danny replied, "I believe every day is a test. To fail or succeed, you choose." The effects of vaping is the one test that Danny chose not to study for.
Vaping does not discriminate on who becomes addicted. Over 2 million high school students use some type of electronic cigarette device. The top tobacco companies also own vaping devices. The FDA found that vaping contains some of the same toxic chemicals as regular cigarettes that lead to cancer. So whether you smoke traditional cigarettes with tobacco or smoke electronic cigarettes using nicotine, your health is at risk. There's no safe way to smoke. For more information, contact the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development.
The non-medical use of prescription drugs, including opioids, is a growing concern in our communities, affecting all ages, including our youth. If the medication wasn't prescribed to you or has expired, don't take it. If your name isn't on the bottle, it's not meant for you to swallow. Addiction is real, and lives are being ruined. Or worse yet, lost.
Visit PreventionDetroit.org/opioids to find prescription Dropbox locations.
The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development is a nonprofit organization that focuses on preventing personal problems we believe are facilitated by being raised in a foster care environment, or remediating potential problems through education and information to the community. Our programs focus on 3 key areas: youth aging out of foster care, community action, and healthcare. Our programs are focused on young adults in the foster care system who are about to age out, those that have just aged out, and the community at large. The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development hosts a variety of services focusing on the needs of foster care youth throughout the community. We also work with numerous community coalitions in our effort to provide the best services for our clients and to help build stronger communities. We believe that a healthy mind and body are cornerstones to a healthy and prosperous community. The Center also engages our community in mental health and wellness advocacy, as well as suicide prevention. Fostered youth emerge from the foster care system vulnerable to substance abuse, with little opportunity to obtain higher education or develop life skills. The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development empowers youth that are in and transitioning out of the foster care system to overcome the struggles and challenges by providing them substance abuse prevention, life skills training, and workforce development programs. Drawing from the life experiences of our founder, Mr. Marcel Arbuckle, we open the door to positive and productive life through education, health, and life skills development. For more information, you can visit our website at cuyfddetroit.org or check out our social media at cuyfddetroit.
Welcome back to Urban Review, and we're here with our epidemiologist, the founder and CEO of the Catalyst Evaluation Group, and they're out of Knoxville, Tennessee, doing a wonderful job not only here in America but all across the world, helping drug-free community coalitions become effective and productive in being a data-driven organizations. So, Stephanie, tell me, you've been working with us here in Detroit with our group on the West Side for a little bit more than a year now. How would you compare the work and the efforts and the direction that we're going with other organizations across the country?
Well, for one thing, the coalition here on the west side of Detroit is really effective because you're tracking everything that you do. And it adds a level of work that some people don't choose to opt into, because not only do you have to go out and you do the work, but then you have to document your work.
Right.
But when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to really be able to articulate your impact so you can tell the story
Yes.
of what you're doing. And so what I've seen within your coalition, and of course I've been working with Miss Tiffany Edwards
Yes.
with the data collection on that, and she's been doing a really fantastic job about being very consistent in tracking the work that you're doing. And so what we've seen is a direct connection to local conditions, to those behaviors that we identify through the problem analysis process.
Yes.
That allows us to be data driven. And we are able to see that direct connection. And when I was speaking with Miss Tiffany yesterday, and we had a conversation about being busy versus being effective.
Yes.
And so I never want somebody to call me on the phone and say, "Hey, Steph, how's your day?" And I just respond by saying it's busy. I want to always be able to say, I feel really effective today. And that's what I see with your coalition, because as you're logging the activities that you're doing, there's a direct connection to the purpose that you've stated in your grant applications. And that's really the key to effectiveness in achieving community level behavior change. And so that effectiveness carries through the social drivers of health. So I came on board with you all with your Strategic Prevention Framework Partnership for Success grant.
Right.
And in that grant, you identified some specific populations of focus to really make sure that you're providing the right supports to those populations to make sure that they are thriving at a pace that everybody else in the community is thriving. And so what's been really cool to see is the work that the coalition is doing is not only reaching that population of focus, but has been very effective at overcoming some of those social drivers of health that are reducing one's ability to achieve their maximum level of health. And when we say that, oftentimes what we mean is people who are slipping into substance misuse, or people who are slipping into incarceration, or people who are slipping into other risk factors.
Right.
And so we're able to see those risk factors be able to have less of an impact as we build protective factors in the community.
Right.
And we know that because your team is collecting the data and documenting the work that you're doing, which gives us the ability to evaluate it.
Right. And it's, as you indicated, it gives us a lot to do. It keeps us very busy. But as you indicated, it's a good busyness because we're being effective. We know that we're having an impact, and it's been a tremendous pleasure to do this work and to see some of the changes. And we've had an opportunity to collaborate with other organizations like the Detroit Wayne Tobacco Coalition and work with them on their initiative to affect policy by eliminating the sale of flavored tobacco products here in the state of Michigan and here in Wayne County in particular, focusing on menthol flavored cigarettes because that's a product that has had the biggest impact on the African American community. And let's face it, Detroit is almost 85% African American. So this is a thing that is specific to our area, and as you said, we want to focus on the things that are specific to us versus other parts of the world and other parts of the country. So we've been very excited to be working with you. We're very, very happy to have you on our team, and we look forward to this evening. And once again, we want to invite everyone to come out to Hartford Memorial Baptist Church for our coalition meeting, where we'll be working with the Catalyst Group to review all of our community assessment, and we've done a very, very detailed community assessment looking at the 48238, 48235, and 48204 zip codes areas on the west side of Detroit. And this afternoon, we'll be diving into that data and doing a deep dive and taking a look at it, identifying our problem statement and putting together our logic model. And then we'll be implementing the strategic prevention framework, which includes the planning that we're doing now. We've already done some assessment. We've developed the capacity to do it. We're in the planning phase. We're going to put together our project. We'll implement our project. We'll evaluate it, and we'll do it all over again, and we'll do it with cultural competency. So I have learned it a little bit.
There you go.
And I'm very, very happy. So we look forward to having everybody out and being a part of our coalition meeting and helping us to identify the strategy that we're going to implement to help create a drug-free community on Detroit's west side. Also, once again, I want to invite you to come out on Saturday the 17th at 8 o'clock a.m. to enjoy a breakfast that is going to be nourishing and delicious, and it's going to be free, so it'll taste even better. And then we have Wayne County Sheriff Raphael Washington to present a keynote address. Remember that we're going to have Henry Ford Health System there to provide prostate cancer screening, to provide blood pressure screenings, and to teach us how to use MyChart and be effective in taking advantage of that resource that's out there for us. We're also going to have Health Alliance Plan there to do some dental screenings for us, and we'll have a mental health first aid session. We'll have a suicide prevention session. We're going to have Dr. Vance there, and I'm going to let out a little secret. He's going to be doing a book signing, so we are going to be offering 50 copies of his wonderful book. We have other teams there that are going to be providing resources. In fact, some of our vendors include the National Council on Alcohol and Drug Dependency of Greater Detroit area, our friends from the Youth Connection, our friends from the Love Detroit Prevention Coalition, the folks from Youth United will be there, and we have a separate youth track that will be taking place as well, and we are going to have a special speaker come in and talk about slowing your scroll, and that's all of the time that our young people are spending on social media. She's going to teach them how to do some digital empowerment training to be more effective when you're online and to be safe with that. And that's going to be Mrs. Brasia Berryhill, who is the founder of Slow Your Scroll. So we're very excited. The teens will be there in the youth lounge. The adults will be out in Fellowship Hall and in the Vincent Room, and we're going to have a very exciting day. So please come on out and take advantage of the opportunity. And as we get ready to wrap things up, we ask you to always remember those words that Nelson Mandela said to himself every day for the 27 years that he was in captivity. Out of the night that comforts me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods there be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud, and under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the minutes of the years finds and shall find me unafraid, for it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. And don't forget that as you walk this pathway of trying to be substance use free, that you keep your head about you. When you're up against some trouble, meet it squarely face to face. Plant your feet, set your shoulders, lift your chin, and take a brace. And when the worst is bound to happen, in spite of all that you can do, you may fail, but you may conquer, so see it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. And when the worst is bound to happen, in spite of all that you can do, remember, running from it will not save you, so see it through. Even hope may seem but futile when with troubles you're beset, but remember, you're simply facing what other men have met. So if you fail, fall, still fighting, don't give up whatever you do. Keep your eyes to the front, head high to the finish, and see it through. Thank you for watching Urban Review.